We are pleased to be joined on State of Affairs by Nancy Meyer, President, North Jersey Media Group. Good to see you, Nancy.
Good morning. It's good to be here.
Let's let folks know that the North Jersey Media Group has The Record newspaper. What else? The Record,
the Herald News in Passaic County, 201 Magazine, and a group of 30 weeklies that cover North Jersey.
That's a big media group.
It's a big footprint with our free weeklies and our dailies and, of course, the website, northjersey.com.
And you've been in the media business for a couple of years.
Just a couple. I don't even want to tell you how long. That starts to age me.
Where before?
I was in Orlando, Florida at the Orlando Sentinel, and prior to that, the Hartford Courant in Connecticut. But born and raised in New Jersey, so this is like a welcome home.
Love it. Great to have you here. Nancy, talk about this. The media landscape is a massive question, but if you were to say right now, I mean, our son who was 14 picked up The Record the other day, which comes to our house every day.
Thank you very much.
And he said, Dad, and he was looking at the sports page, of course. We follow Seton Hall. He looks basketball, and he looked and he goes, Dad, I'm trying to go to the continuation page. How do I get there? And it hit me. He's having a hard time. He's not alone.
Yeah.
Newspapers are not going away. Please tell me that.
Well, you know what?
I'm sorry, it took me a long way to get there.
For our age group, let me tell you, you know what? The foreseeable future, as we see it, we don't see a newspaper going away. At the same point, we can have even more coverage and larger audience in a digital footprint. So part of it is, how do we engage a 14-year-old, okay? And that may be too young for us today, but how do we engage a 20, a 25-year-old? And they're engaging on our mobile platforms, our website on desktop, more on mobile, and then of course through social media platforms. And you probably find that, you know, here at NJTV.
Sure.
You know, the fact is we need to be able to reach them where they're looking, and that age group is looking on digital platforms. But I'm glad he's still reading the sports pages.
He is. And by the way, let me fully disclose. I mean, you mentioned NJTV, which, and by the way, with our partners here at NJTV, you can find the content here on a lot of other platforms other than watching Mary Alice Williams and the great news team and on broadcast or other platforms. But we actually have a cross-promotional partnership, our production company and North Jersey Media Group. I want to fully disclose that. But the other part of this that fascinates me is the question of, as you're creating more content on other platforms, right, the website and other apps, if you will, I ask myself, are you drawing people away from the print side because they have a choice to make and they go, oh, well, I'll go here or there, or are they looking at both?
You know, and we look at it both from our number standpoint, but also just readership and engagement. It is both. It's almost somebody watching TV in the evening also has maybe their desktop on their laptop on their lap as well as their mobile phone. So when you look at it multi-channel, and people are multitasking. So they may want to read the newspaper in long form. They want to see a list on Facebook or a short story or a short breakout, and then a video because they've gone onto the website and they want to hear you and I speaking, you know, it live because they think they can engage better that way. So I think it's a little of both. But I also then say it's somewhat generational. While you and I, and I'll put us in that older age group, may be reading more print, that younger age group is really not engaging with print at all. And where they want to see it is on the digital platform. So we need to be in all those different places to match where the audience wants to go.
Talk about the video side. Is there a significant demand, Nancy, for video content? Meaning, you got people who are great writers. They're putting together, they're great reporters, they're great writers and can put together a great story. Is there pressure on everyone to be able to create video content?
Absolutely. And the reason being is because that's where our reader, our user, and our audience wants it. And it's interesting because not everyone may be a great videographer. But guess what? With a mobile phone, a smartphone today, any one of us can produce content. So internally, we're training our reporters, and in some cases, multimedia journalists, as we might call them, to be better, to be able to take a still photo, because, hey, I can take a photo. May not be perfect, may not be to our photographer standards, but a videographer, because our audience wants it, to be able to shoot a video, to be able to get something live. You may be driving down the street or, you know, the normal citizen be able to take a video, and we've seen all of those go live on social media. So video is good. Now, one thing we've also learned is it may not always be voice video, but even if you put type in there, people are engaging with that, but they want to see the moving photo.
Shift gears. The Trump administration. I'm not going to get into a whole big question about this, but you deal with this. The editorial side deals with it. To what degree are you concerned about the tone and the tenor of the dialogue between the Trump administration and the media overall? The whole, you're fake news, you're our enemy, the enemy of the American people. Or we just go about our business?
You know, I sit there and I'm very concerned. I think, and, you know, not to get on a soapbox, but I will to some degree, I think what newspapers, what media companies do are very important. You know, our founding fathers felt that having a fourth estate and the First Amendment was vital. Smarter today than many of us are. So I think that still stands. I find it very important. I think the normal individual does. We have to stay true to our core values. We report each and every day. We try to get it right more than we get it wrong. And when we get it wrong, we'll come forward and say we got it wrong. But the fact is, the American public and a free democracy needs good media, honest media reporting each and every day. So if we stay true to that core value of what we do, to me, it overrides a president, 4 years, who right now may be having a little bit antagonistic view to the media.
Last question. 2017, a huge year back in the state of New Jersey. Governor will replace Chris Christie as the next chief executive. The role of North Jersey Media Group and the role of the rest of us, but primarily your group, in terms of covering this governor's race, not from a horse race perspective, because truthfully, that's not what State of Affairs is about. We're not interested in that.
Exactly.
I don't actually believe that most voters are interested in polls and who's ahead. What do you believe most voters care about? Most readers and consumers, if you will, of content care about?
I think they want to know what the issues, and I think they want to know honestly and getting good feedback from the future candidates. What are the issues? Where do they stand on those issues? Open, honestly, and forthright. So I think economy is a big issue. I do think people feeling safe in this state as well as their country is a big issue. But I also believe that, you know, the rights of what we have in this state as well as America are important. But I would first say, you know, the economy, healthcare, freedom, and the safety of our rights stand forward.
To Nancy's point, on State of Affairs, if you've been watching us, we've only been around for a little bit. We are going through a series of in-depth interviews with every major candidate running on the Democratic and the Republican side for governor. And once the major party candidates are decided in June, there'll be one Democrat, one Republican, and I promise we'll continue those interviews. Nancy, I can't thank you enough. Nancy Meyer is the president of North Jersey Media Group. Check them out online.
NorthJersey.com.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you.
State of Affairs. We'll be right back right after this.
State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is brought to you from the Agnes Veris NJTV studio at 2 Gateway. Funding has been provided by Jersey Central Power and Light, Passaic County Community College, Holy Name Medical Center in Teaneck, New Jersey, the New Jersey Association of Health Underwriters, New Jersey Sharing Network, New Jersey Council of County Colleges, and by Johnson & Johnson.